I want to share your phenomenal journey with our audience, with our readers. And I think you're such an inspiration. I mean, you were in our most influential list recently. We did, the most influential people of the Northeast. And I think the journey is incredible in terms of what you've achieved. And it's people like yourselves who've come from India, made this your home, grafted, made such big successes, but also given so much back that the generation who have already born here, they need to realize what graft and what hard work you set out, because if it wasn't for you guys, then the other generations, you've paved the way for them really to be accepted and also to aspire to and to have the successes that you've made. So I want to go back to, you arrived here when you were only 19, I believe, a teenager,
That's
and you
correct.
worked in a news agent, similar to what I did. Um, but you didn't need to because your family were already doing well, I believe. But you still
My,
chose to do that. So tell us a little bit about that.
well, my family back home are affluent people, extremely established, big property landlord financiers. As all young children at my age, 19, have this perception about in late in early 80s when I came. The perception was that England is a country full of gold leaves, and I just have to fill 10 bags and go back home and prove it to my old man. But life on to the contrary, and I was not exception to the rule. So that's what brought me here. I
Yeah.
came to the wedding of my cousin and elected to stay in this country.
You could have easily gone back and gone and told your family, I'm not staying there, I'm coming back, and they could have looked at, they had the means to look after you. You didn't need to do what you did. So what was the motivation behind that? What made you think that, no, I'm gonna do this?
Well, that would have been an easy option. That was always an option. Must be candid with you.
Yes.
But uh, but I gave it a go. And you just shared with me earlier, generations even before me or my generation have crafted, using your words, to form right footing for the new generations to build up. That is partially true. But in my case, somebody up there held my hand very tight and guided me through the journey. Of course, I've worked very hard. Then all of but I feel that I'm extremely fortunate, and it's humbling to be in the position I am. And it's nothing that I planned or aspired or ever thought that I would be here. But as I said, heavens were very kind to me.
Yeah. It's just sheer hard work and graft that's got you where you are today. Along the journey, what would you say has been your most challenging, moment or most challenging phase, to get to where you are?
Uh, as I said, there was not a set plan. Whatever I did was maverick. There was not guidance from family, or neither could I afford the sophisticated professionals that I have today. There is one thing I must share with all the viewers you have, and anybody younger to me listening, that each time I was a young man, I came, age 19 was a tender age. It's the first time I left home, and that also not going to Delhi or Mumbai, decided to come to leaving the country. So when I came here, so it was a bit of a, children have excitement. This happens to them. So of course I was excited. There was a big responsibility, a worry, have I done it right? And on my way, the challenges and the complexities were not any different that people have in their journey. But one thing that paid dividends in my life was that whenever I needed advice, I never compromised going to the best. So the only way I've learned from life, or continuing to learn from life is either I had best of English teach me, or I paid somebody a lot to render that advice, or I lost a lot of money. In both ways, there were, and yeah, complexities and challenges, but not any different to what people would have. I was determined to do it, and God was very kind.
Mm, fantastic. Now, obviously, we're in a global pandemic, and a lot of your businesses are in the leisure industry, which has been hugely affected. But that's not deterred you at all. You're still going full speed ahead. In fact, £150 million, not a small number, that you're now planning to invest in your home country in India, in Ludhiana, where you came from. So how does that happen? Because obviously everybody's being very careful because of lockdown, because of the pandemic. They're not spending, they're not doing anything, and in fact big companies are actually closing, they're struggling. But obviously it's the complete opposite for you.
Yes, I think firstly, touching on this pandemic,
Mm.
which is so many people falling ill and people losing their lives, the relatives losing lives, my heart goes out for all of them. And the message is stay safe. And I'm sure the worldwide government is doing their very best and citizens are playing their part. I'm sure we'll conquer this. And we are on the way to recovery since the vaccine has been found a few months ago. So coming tough times and funding, it is a double-edged sword. One of the ways to look at it is that one has to work even harder because the times are tough.
Mm.
And when the tough, one is pushed against the wall, one tries harder. And the project in India was something, my dream project. I always wanted to have an opportunity, if I prevailed health, return back to my and do something for my hometown. So this is land which we have had, and an opportunity was lent to me. And this is, I was considering it for about a year and a half now. And it is just coincidental that it's been announced during the pandemic. And you're absolutely right. A small correction. I'm not investing 150 million pound. That is a gross value of the
Right.
project is
Mm-hmm.
100. Of course, our investment in tens of millions of pounds, 50 million
Yes.
plus. We already
Mm.
own the land
Yeah.
in India. So the land is already is something that we own. And the project is, we are trying to deliver quality. And what we are doing here is social housing as a one-stop shop, as uh, gathered from the previous articles. So it's nothing fancy.
Mm.
It is good quality construction
Mm.
with all which that for the world sometimes lack. But
Yes.
the developer in India are very good.
Mm.
India is leaps and bounds, and for me, it is a learning curve. I've not in any way undermined the complexities, the challenges one would have when you go. So it going back to India and developing. The time is right, the opportunity is right, and the product we are doing is something our town needs.
Yeah.
Uh, International facility, which is one stop shop,
Yeah.
and very much what we see in Europe.
Yeah.
And based on my feasibility, equipment such as mine doesn't exist,
Yeah.
which has activity to the highway, to the shopping mall, the entertainment, the eateries, and it's a world, so to
Yeah.
speak. Security is
Mm.
big as for the world,
Wow.
and environmental friendly. We have
Mm.
taken a having the property uh, adequate parking. Very happy about whenever we go to our parts of the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
have showed, and it's environmental friendly. We are not, creating pollution of vehicles, etc. And it is compliant for this. And
Mm.
I think for the world, they call it different cable.
Yeah.
All our companies to that. That is something which has hurt me when I visited, India in the
Yeah.
past.
Mm.
Sometimes people, differently able people. not having the adequate facility. So that part of it is
Yeah.
immense satisfaction that I'm able to deliver. And the
Yeah.
product, I can assure you
Yeah.
that that I will be building this place as if my family is residing.
So this is not just a commercial or a business project for you. It seems very personal, doesn't it? Because you remember your childhood, your growing up years, and you saw that there were a lack of facilities for the locals there. Um, and now to be able to go back there and create those facilities and create a better way of life for people, it seems very personal. It seems like it's a big social project.
It is personal to me in a sense that I wanted to take part in action or to
Mm,
be, but I think it would not be correct for me to state
mm,
that the such and mine are lacked either in India or in Punjab.
mm,
As I stated to you, things have moved on
mm.
uh, a way to be getting there, but it is a journey,
Yeah,
long time,
yeah,
and the facilities are there. But it's fair to say
mm,
that people are sometimes not as considerate
yeah,
ought to be
mm,
and lack the passion.
mm,
A lot of projects, this one, are motivated
mm,
uh, financially as well. But fortunately,
yeah,
uh, dream project, it is little more than if I wanted to earn hardcore money,
yeah,
then you have to believe me that Newcastle and London and England
yeah,
is to do business in.
yes,
This is be proud of. I'm going to go back to my home state, to my hometown,
mm,
developing facility. Yes, it'll make a bit of money, which is not
yeah,
a bad, you know,
of
and
course.
can be utilized for all of good causes. But I am not financially led to be
Mm,
developing.
mm,
You know,
yeah. So, I mean, I remember when I met you at the business talk, you also sort of like to offer your support and advice to other entrepreneurs. And you very magnanimously said to everybody, if they ever need you for anything, be it business advice, business support, or even finances, that your door's open for people. Now that you've got your foot in India and you're now doing this development and you're going back to your roots, would you also expand your support to people locally in the area, in Ludhiana, for example, in Punjab, to also then help other locals there to, sort of expand on their entrepreneurial skills and talent?
Fatima, this is something I have engaged in for the last 20 years,
Mm,
and blessed in my own small way to contribute if the cause is just to assist people, guide people, and now actively, at least for the last 10 years, help the SMEs, the little angels, and I have 20 or so which I have adopted for
wow.
mentoring. And you would not believe, I say this to everyone before the mentoring session.
Mm,
I expect more from them because whatever I share repetitive is something, when you meet some especially younger people
yeah,
are so, and there's so much to be learned. And trust me, I'm not just saying it for the sake of it.
yeah.
Each man teaches me more. It's an eye opener. And of
Yeah,
course, it'll be part of my duties there
yeah,
is that in process of engaging
yeah.
uh, a corporate team in India,
Mm,
our own offices, and once
mm,
those are, I will have a dedicated office to be engaging
mm,
and actively now, more
yeah,
active. If I could add value to
yeah,
people by advice, by guidance, whether it's support or a network, it'll be my absolute privilege and delight, a part of this project that I'll really enjoy. Meant And my advice is never been based to caste, creed, or color. I have people from all walks of life, all ages, and it doesn't take me long to adapt. I become part of their life very quickly, and then I wear the hat as to how sometimes their parents would be thinking, their bankers would be thinking, or their spouses, children, and life becomes easier.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a journey. Not
Yeah.
as what would advise them. Right? I'm employed. I'll never tell them what to do. I will share with them this is how it can be done.
Mm,
This is how, of course, that it is for them to take an option. If they like something, they may opt to it, or at least, I feel satisfied. I've shared with them and shown them the way that it can be achieved. But I
mm,
that one has to choose their own path in life.
yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Would you ever consider going on program like Dragon's Den? Because obviously you got such a great personality, such humble um, attitude towards life, and such great and inspiring and motivational, obviously, tips that you could give that people would want to work with you, but also such experience and knowledge of the business world, and obviously wealth as well to add to that. Would you ever consider being on programs like Dragon's Den and imparting and sharing and becoming part of other people's business?
I do not mind participating in any program in that respect,
Mm,
but the so is that must have quality time,
yeah.
and I be able to understand and add value to it.
Mm,
Otherwise, I would be wasting a lot of and energy for other people.
mm,
And if sharing my journey, I'm able to add value, it'll be my absolute privilege, but not going to the program, any program for the sake.
yeah.
If I have quality time, I can assist people. Why not?
Mm. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, I want to come back to the Northeast. That's where you've made your home. When you came at the age of 19, did you choose to settle in the Northeast, or did that just happen? Was that just an organic thing?
I'm blessed to have all my maternal family, some 500 of them, my
Wow.
uncles and aunts. Those are all very lovely. And I must say, since I've come even to date, I am very close to all my family. They've been very kind, and so I didn't have a choice. Newcastle was my home. Left my father's home and came to my home, which was belonged to my extended family.
Mm,
But when
yeah.
it is unfortunate, but it must be stated when I guidance or advice, people can give me moral support. So part of the reason when I get involved and I meet somebody, I look in that person, somebody like me standing on the other side of the door, and I remember my own time. So it
Mm,
becomes for me to understand it, connect with them, and guide them. So I came to Newcastle and stayed with an uncle, worked for another one. And like typically all Asian people, we are close. But that was a tremendous help and support.
I think you're sort of the complete inspiration for a lot of Asian immigrants and a lot of Asian people, a lot of the generation that was born here as well. Especially because the Black Lives Matter movement happened, and a lot was said about racism, and there was often words used like "go back home" and "you don't belong here" for people of color. And you're a real example of a success story where you've come here, you've made Newcastle your home, you've actually developed successful businesses, changed livelihoods of the thousands of people that you employ, but also, modestly I know, but you give a lot back to the region. When I say that to you, to me, you're an inspiration, and that you are the answer when people say to us that, brown people, you should go back to your country. You are a clear example of the contribution that the South Asian community make to the UK. and it gives us great pride in meeting people like you. How do you feel when people say that to you? Like I've just said that to you now. How does that make you feel?
Uh, First of all, on a humorous note,
Yeah.
I say I'm an Englishman in this. And from a personal experience, I've heard, read, watched on the television that there is a racial abuse. So therefore, I have no doubt it must exist.
Mm,
From a personal point of view, I lived in this country for 40 years.
mm,
Yes, odd time one meets, a drunkard person who's not experienced. If they say to me, "I'm brown, I'm black," I'm very proud of it. Firstly, it's not an abuse to me. Okay,
mm, mm,
I'm an so, but majority of people wherever you go in the world don't believe. Even you see, it could also be alleged that there is a racism amongst the Asian community. I've not experienced that either.
mm,
Each morning I get up and try very hard to be human, and I falter within 5 seconds of my brain functioning because it corrupt. I try very hard to be human, and once I can beat that, then consider about religion or the racism or the caste or the creed. So
mm,
in 40 years, first I have not experienced, and it's unfortunate. People, those who have all the sympathy, people, those who have been on the receiving end, and the people, those who are on the giving end, must be more humane to understand there is not a need. We are all humans, and God has not put any in this world. And let's keep simple things simple. And we talk about us being South Asian part of the world.
mm,
And let me share with you, these things may have been true before I came to this country in 79, and I saw, read a lot during that, South Africa struggle. And even now, from time to time, we have this ugly, unfortunate incident starting, from America, the Black Life Matters, etc. But we could take a huge comfort in the Asian community in all parts of the world. Uh, you see, because although I didn't experience it, and I could speak English just the way I speak to you today when I landed in this country. I went to Sacred Heart. The only language I can read, write, and speak is English. Although I can speak Urdu, speak Hindi, speak Punjabi, but I can't read or write.
right.
So, so parents in India and before me, my uncles and aunties, all of us from Asian community, they worked very hard to educate their children. So this is now fruit. Wherever you go, it's immense pleasure. You go to any part of Europe, you go to any states, you go to any part of England. Let me share with you with pride. I mean, the British cabinet is an example of
Yeah.
the heart that our young, and they are there due to their hard work, their perseverance, their knowledge, being proud that we are here. And I don't think that those days are, I couldn't even use the term numbered. I would say those days are only for people, those who are unwise, they got nothing to do. You
Mm,
and I, a lot of comfort that
mm,
whatever achieved, all the, using your word, graft, all the graft that the generations such as mine and previous did, it has not gone to waste. It has come to fruition. And look at yourself, Father. How 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 clever and position you
thank you.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Totally not gifted to you. So
Mm,
there are young people like yourself in all parts of the world. Categorically assure you, I travel extensively all parts of the world, Europe, Africa.
yeah.
Our youth, phenomenal. We as parents, yes, very proud. And having said that, because we are limiting the connection to the Asian youth
Mm,
and other other society as well, regardless to their color and creed. I think children are very clever in this day and age because we are specifically talking about youth. So we are very proud. I'm not saying that any other race society is behind. They've done equally well. What I'm saying is what we have achieved, we
mm,
should be very.
mm.
I'll hand it.
Yeah. No, very well said. That's amazing. And I think I'm going to ask you one last question now, and then obviously let you go. But if you were to give any advice to people going through, so there's a lot of businesses at the moment going through really testing times because obviously of the global pandemic. Um, you're such a positive person. You're always, I would say you're an optimist. How do you, or what advice can you give to people to remain positive and see these tough times through, the tough times that we're all going through at the moment, because of the virus?
Can I break this into two
Of
segments?
course, yes.
Uh, One is life advice is it's tough time. It's unfortunate. I have seen this pandemic myself for the first time, and
Mm,
I'm sure we will all survive. We got to stick together and put our head down, count our blessings, help each other, be together, make a collective effort, and I'm sure we'll conquer this horrible, horrible virus. So that is the life part. Now, coming to the inspiration, what I call is, uh, you see, for me, I'm focused more on like, business was very important. Entrepreneurial skills were very important. Probably some of me was wanting to achieve that. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. Say I didn't, I must have, and I enjoyed it.
mm,
So to those, uh, those who are still aspiring to succeed in the entrepreneurial world, I can just share with them some, a motherhood phrase: borrow conservative. When you earn money, do not think all the money you see is yours. You have tax to pay. You have your depreciation out. You have to expand. You Some contingencies will flow for that, and and then do, above all, do not do different things. Do things different. Stick to what you know, and we do not have to copy.
mm,
We have what our skill level is, what we want to aspire in life, and all of us are unique. We got unique qualities with unique talents, and be very proud of where you have come from, where your roots. Otherwise, you'll not know what's hit you, and you'll certainly not know where you're going. Be very proud of your heritage and love one another. Look after your health, your family, and that is very, very important. So that's what I believe in. That's all I can share. Not I because you see, you have to remember in my story, as successful as it may sound, or as interesting or exciting it may, I did not. I had no script. All I did was Maverick, but I remember the things I've shared.
mm.
I did what I right. I only did what I knew it, and then again, another big thing in the little world: do not ever compromise for advice. The worst one can get is cheap advice.
Mm.
That's about it.
Very wise words, very inspiring. I had a lovely morning. Now you've uplifted me now. I think I'm going to be ready for the whole day. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and I wish you all the best. And if we can, when lockdown's over, I'd love to go and see your development and cover a story and interview you there in India one day as well.
It will be delightful. You be my guest. You're looking yourself. You're looking vibrant. You're looking well. Keep
Thank
it
you.
up. And if there's anything I could ever do to assist, I'm always here.
Oh,
That
you're
note,
such a star.
it's been such a pleasure to talk.
Thank you so much. Likewise, thank you for taking time out for me, and thank you so much for inspiring me. And I hope to speak to you again soon.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.